There you have it now. You know who we're talking about. I will call him the legendary Gaise Baba. He's in the studio with us this morning.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
How has it been for you so far? How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Yeah, okay.
The Lord is helping us.
You know, the first time I heard of Gaise Baba was, he was skinnier than this. Wow, tush. Your first video. And I was like, what kind of guy is this? You know, redefining the perception of gospel music over the years. Why is that a calling for you?
I don't know. I don't know what that is a calling for me. I mean, it's not the called that determines the call. It's the caller that determines the call. So as long as you are yielded to
this trend culture, you know, there's this talk about the fact that people wait for what the secular artists do to inculcate into the gospel music industry. Can you why I'm talking about it is because of the recent trend as well, the go-go trend that went all over and it entered into the gospel industry as well. So I want you to talk about that. Is that necessary?
It didn't enter into the gospel industry.
Okay.
It entered into a particular church.
No, it was not just a particular church. I think like 2 different praise sessions. You know, it's just, media is powerful. Traditional media, still very powerful. Social media, very powerful. So when something trends and becomes like really huge, you can find yourself caught in the middle of it, right? So it's just, it kind of takes over. So if you're not intentional enough, you know, to decide that, no, I'm a thermostat, I'm not a thermometer. You get, that means regardless of what's going on around, I can still decide this is what I'm doing. I'm not going to be over-influenced by external forces, you know, stuff like that. So, but it's just the function of a strong media and a powerful media. So everybody's on their devices. When something catches on, it is easy to jump on that. It is easy to want to jump on that. So we can be having a conversation about whether it is right or it is wrong, but people just need to be, you know, more circumspect and realize that everything is lawful, but not everything is expedient.
Yeah, speaking of that, on that also, what do you think about collaboration between gospel artists and secular artists? Because I was watching an interview by another gospel artist, I will not say his name here, but he was like, light has no business with darkness. So I wanted to take you on that. What do you think about it?
Well, where is the power of light in?
Inside darkness.
Where is the power of light in?
Well, like you said, inside
there is no, light has no work. Light has no, like, how do I put it? You see the effect of light most in darkness. Right?
Well, yeah, but I mean...
So if you want to go by that, like, analogy, now, if you come into collaborations, right? Now you have to contextualize it. At least I can speak because nobody say I don't do any collabo before. So it's not like I'm trying to defend myself. No, it's none of that. What I'm saying is, so for instance, if there's a peace track, like, or a nation building track.
But that's different.
I'm talking about Christian music now.
So you're saying, okay, so
for example,
I'm just saying, first of all, so let's have that aside. That means you can actually have a case where different artists come together to work on a project, right? Now, so if you're speaking about, say, a Christian artist is working on a Christian song and then brings a secular artist. Now, we'll now define the secular artist because Timida Kolo is a secular artist.
Yes.
Or is as Christian goes.
Yes.
Right? So if I feature Timida Kolo, that's fine, right? That means what the issue is really about is not secular artist. It's like carnal artist. It's like an artist whose content is carnal. So we have to be careful how we just throw around the word secular. Secular doesn't mean bad. Secular doesn't mean evil. Secular just means you are not doing a religious, what you do isn't religious, right? What we have an issue with is carnality. What we should avoid is carnality, not secularity. Your national anthem is secular. Happy birthday song is secular, right? So the problem isn't secularity. The problem is carnality. So what we should avoid is carnality. We have to be specific. In the scriptures, what it speaks about, what it uses as an opposite for spiritual is carnal. It's not secular. You're either spiritual or you're carnal. Right? So that's the problem. Carnality is the problem, not... You get what I mean?
Yeah, I get.
So if we say carnality is a problem, it means that gospel artists should not collaborate with an artist who has a carnal message in his music.
It can get messy.
Okay.
It can get messy. I wouldn't say you absolutely shouldn't, because because I know there was a track between Victor Thompson and I can't remember the American rapper now, right? Yeah. So, there are deeper levels to this thing, man, right? So I also will not judge someone else based on my consecration, you get? And I wouldn't want someone else to judge me based on their consecration, right? Because our assignments are uniquely different, all right? You get what I mean? But generally speaking, it can get messy because you are bringing someone on that platform and exposing that person to your audience. But at the same time, the person is also exposing you to his audience, which means there are people who are in that person's audience who may not have heard the content that you put out, and you can make impact that way. There are also people who are in your audience who probably wouldn't have listened to this person's content, who will now listen to that person's content. So it is a case of...
Two different messages.
Yeah, is give and take. It now depends on if you were instructed to do that. And nobody can really judge that for anybody, which is why I'm like, I can speak for myself and the assignments that I'm given and the consecrations that I have, but I'm not going to use my consecration to judge someone else.
All right, so but talking about your own assignment now, how do you view the impact on young people? Because I know that you still go to campuses.
Secondary schools.
Secondary schools, yes, to minister and all of that. How do you view the impact on young people?
It's interesting when you say I go to secondary schools to minister. They don't need to talk that kind of stuff. Because I think there are actually many people who don't think we minister. You see the gold hair, you see the chain.
Things have changed now.
And all. But, the content the message is in the content, right? The vehicle can be different. So this person's vehicle is different from this person's vehicle. It's like the fishing net is different, but you're catching fish. As long as you're catching fish, you're doing the work. Whether our fishing nets our fishing hooks look the same or not. Do you get what I mean? So we go around secondary schools. We've done 31 editions. We've done 21 editions, and we've reached over 31,000.
Basically catching them young.
Catching them young. Do you get what I mean? Exposing the gospel, the message, and the culture of God's kingdom to young people, speaking their language. So we're putting up concerts, lights, sound, and we're taking young folk, young creatives to them, and the impact is great. That we get messages seeking for counsel, seeking for advice. I love how you love God and are cool about it. So it shows that they are not anti-God. We just haven't been speaking their language. And now we're trying to do that, and we're catching a generation for Christ.
When you mentioned concerts, a question came to mind. Just like Amanda, a lot of Christian artists go to different places to minister and everything, and many times they bring the glory of God down. But sometimes there's an issue because they sometimes sing songs that are tagged not theirs, and then it becomes like copyright infringement. Do you think that there's something like that in this industry?
I know that there's stuff called safe use. So if the particular record or the particular master recording falls into safe use, then it is permissible. However, I actually don't think many worship leaders, praise leaders even know about that or check what falls within safe use and what doesn't. Also, in Nigeria, a lot goes that we don't. It's almost like any and everything goes because nobody's checking copyright, right? In more structured industries and countries, even the songs that are sung in church on Sunday have to be cleared. Otherwise, you're going to be paying performance rights for those songs, right? So if we were more structured, then a lot less of that will happen. I mean, you have big concerts. There are big concerts, big Christian concerts that happen in Nigeria, even the biggest ones, where different artists are singing different songs by different other artists who are not on that platform in that event. But there's a lot that just goes here. But hopefully we become better and do better and respect rights more.
All right, so we'll quickly have to go, but before we go, performing in a concert, there's this issue of payments, like gate fees or something. Is it
so like ticketing for shows?
Yes, ticketing for shows.
I said shows, yeah, whether it's shows or concerts or meetings.
Do we have to pay for that, for those? Because there's this argument that it's a gospel concert.
It's a gospel. The gospel is free.
The gospel is free.
Stuff like that, but you can pay for another secular, carnal, like you said, artist.
Or secular, I mean, it's fine.
You can pay 500,000 naira for a table
so
there,
you
but
pay because the gospel is free.
Yes.
And the gospel is free. The experience is not.
Ew.
Yeah, the gospel is free. The experience is not. What you are coming for in that event is not just the gospel. You are coming for an experience. Otherwise, you can play the song in your house. Why are you going there? Why do you want to go there? You want an experience. And the people who have to create that experience, it costs resource to create that experience. It costs resource to book a landmark or an Eco Hotel or a TBS or any of those, right? So if there are platforms that make that happen without charging, it is not that that is the rule. It is just that there's another source of funding, sometimes a church, who already have funding through tithes and offerings. When someone who doesn't have that has to create a platform like that and then tickets for it, then full-blown adults should not be complaining about that, because you should be responsible enough to pay for the experience that you are trying to get.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much, the cultural architect, Gaise, for coming.
Thank you for having
so
me.
much.
Thank you.
Are we still tush?
My wife has touched me.
Thank you so much for coming.